Hello racing fans and welcome to our Gallop TV preview show for Saturday the 2nd of November. We at Turffontein on the stand side for the Allied Steel Rod on a Mission Mile Charity Mile Race Day, where charity is the winner, 19 charities being supported, and of course R1 million carryover to the Pick 6, that estimated pool 5 million rand. Other supporting features, I think there's 5 of them on the card. It is a bumper race day at the Big T, alongside a very exciting card at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, and at a very exciting time for the Western Cape from Hollywoodbets Durbanville to have their first meeting back at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. Lots to play for, as I mentioned to Graham Hawkins, whichever show you're watching first, that it is a bumper Saturday, and we got the birthday boy in the house. It is Alistair Cohen. Whenever you're watching the show, he celebrates his birthday on the 2nd of November. And he isn't taking the day off. He said, I'm doing the show because I'm in form. We have tipped the Pick 6 on Thursday. So well done, Alistair, with that Pick 6. And from everybody at Gallop TV, a very happy birthday to you.
Thanks so much, Dees. Really appreciate it. Pleasant surprise from the gang that's obviously behind the scenes. So many good people that we work with on these Gallop shows, and yourself included, and obviously the rest of the hosts that come to the party. Yeah, really appreciate the birthday wishes. And we hopefully can continue the form through November. As you say, finished October with a bang. I wish I actually took my Pick 6. Murphy's Law, I didn't. But nice to have been a help for the punters. 1,800 rand perm that yielded the 23,000 rand payout. So good to be in form. And as you say, massive weekend. I mean, Friday the doubleheader with a twilight meeting at Hollywoodbets Greyville, onto this 19-race South African fair on Saturday, and high quality, as you say. And then on to the Breeders' Cup at Del Mar, where all South African eyes will be focusing on Isi Vungu and Beach Bomb. What a magnificent it's not even an achievement, but just to have the South African flag flying again on the international stage, and what an international stage for it to fly. And obviously the story of the Hollywood Syndicate having gone to many Breeders' Cups and being a face in the crowd to having a runner. I mean, it's just a beautiful story. And then on to Sunday at Hollywoodbets Greyville for what could very well be masquerading as a Grade 1 race between Royal Victory and See It Again locking horns, although neither of them are going to be guns blazing. They've got bigger fish to fry. Like I said to Raheel for the Thursday preview, that race itself is just worth rocking up at Hollywoodbets Greyville for on Sunday.
Okay, let's get straight into it, Alistair. We got 10 races to push through. 12:05, 11:60, a maiden plate for fillies and mares is where we kick things off. Of course, with the 10 races not forming part of the exotics race, number 1, let's give you some guidance. Number 1 at 6-1, horse number 3 at 7-2. 4 at the time of recording is out. 5 from 4-1 into 7-2 Hollywoodbets. 10 Baron Bortus back home, 4-1 into 33-10, and horse number 11 is at 33-10. The one thing that I will say, of the race runners that I've seen, and of course some of these first timers that will grab your attention, this could be a form line to follow.
I think so, Dees. I think it's a very hot maiden. I've heard no whispers about the first timers, to be fair, even though quite a few of them make appeal on pedigree. Gregarious, number 6 by Vercingetrix out of the horse Chestnut May Galadriel. Number 8, Lady Bomber, who I believe will come into her own over further. And also number 7, Izanami. All of Fire was trained by Alec Laird, and she was good. But there's no whispers, no noise, no betting movements coming out of the ranks of the first timers. So does that mean we can lean towards the experience, the form that we've got, and there's loads of form? Let me start off with Candace's runner, Desert Cloud, number 3 on the card, a very well-bred daughter. Give me the green light. Gavin Arena gets on board. Her debut was excellent behind Rodeo Drive. She can only step forward. She's been off for a while, waiting for the reins to come. She's not the biggest around, but she's very racy. She's got a lot to come. She might just need the run, but she's got a lot of class. The honest belief is that she can probably get to feature race division. Whether she'll win at feature races, we can only live and hope. But she's got a lot to like about her. Obviously, Rodeo Drive, short head second, the Alan Robertson subsequently. 4th horse Valieva runs in a feature race later on. Sensoria came out and won from that form. It's a very powerful form line. But she's targeting race to come in the future. From 170 days off, she is not going to be 100%, but optimistic that she'll run very, very well. She might be able to win because she's showing a lot. Then we've got the Sean Terry runner, the daughter of One World, Jabara, who was very unlucky on debut. Don't know how that form line is going to ultimately work out. Cars Big as Bars subsequently ran well, to be fair. So for me, she should have run much closer on debut. Don't know whether she wins, but she definitely finishes a couple of places closer. She should step forward with that run under the belt. The whispers about number 10 mile one and only were loud on debut that she had been beating even grade 1 performers in work. First run back for Bar and Boortjes on the half veld since relocating to Turffontein. Surprised that he went to Turffontein, not home to the Val, but all the same, number 10 mile one and only is very interesting on first run, back on the half veld, drawn towards the outside, which should suit. And then number 11, Roaming Spirits, who's a half sister to Perfect Witness, who went further than 1160. She's cut from the same cloth as number 3, Desert Cloud, and that she obviously has a lot of ability. Been a lot of talk about her, but she comes back from a layoff. How ready will she be? That all remains to be seen. Very, very tricky race to start. Tricky for the right reasons. Optimistic that number 3, Desert Cloud, will run well. I'll put her into swingers with number 11, Roaming Spirit. I think both of them will be in the first 3 here.
Yep, fitness could be the deciding factor with these horses coming back from a break. First timers, horses that are in form. It looks like a race that you want to try and wait for as long as possible before you play any bets. Get some information from the course with regards to first timers and then make your decision and possibly bank some cash to play for the rest of the afternoon because it's a busy day. Race number 2 starts off the bypot, 1160. Maiden plate starting off the bypot will be this field. A field of 9 runners that will go to post. Horse number 1 is trading at 5-1. Compression Mask and Blinkers. Then we got a form update. Just keep an eye on whether these horses run. They did race on the 26th of October. Numbers 2 and 4 ran in the same race behind Grey Jet, finishing 6 and 8 respectively. Then we got number 5 at 6-1. And then 2 horses are very tight in the market. 7 at 18-10 and a first timer called Hong Kong at 17-10 with Gavin Arena up. Yeah, obviously, are we going blind with this first timer or do we have any word? Number 8.
I have no words, but I think we can. D's number 8, Hong Kong, daughter of Ideal World out of a VAR mare. You'd ordinarily assume that an Ideal World's not going to be too effective down the straight, but out of a VAR mare, you got half a chance. For me, it's not a race that'll take much winning. Training at around 16-10, a little nibble on Hong Kong as well. That leads me to believe that she's probably on the right track here. The reason why I say that is obviously a lot of the exposed form isn't too much to get excited about. Big Boy Bruce ran a much improved race last time out. That was the second for Fani Broncos. I think the key for Big Boy Bruce, he's got an awful history at the starting stalls, hence he's so lightly raced. He does become a hot mess behind the stall, so you'd like to see that last run is confirmed rather than believing that he suddenly got it all worked out, because I'm not convinced he does. I'd like to see a bit more consistency from him at the stalls before we have a look at him. And then number 7, Aminato. I think she was disappointing last time out, but going to Hollywoodbets Scottsville when supported and being well beaten by Lock and Key, beaten to the tune of 9 lengths when going off as an 8-10 favourite. When you have a look at that form line, it's a fair form line. It's not one that you get overly excited about, doesn't give you the thrills of life. And also coming back from a layoff would be a little bit of a worry, although you tend not to be so worried about Terry's horses coming from a layoff, especially on a big day. He'll have Aminato as ready as can be in my book. Just having a look at that form line, obviously Lock and Key came out and franked that form. Also, when you consider Lock and Key was an 8.5 length winner on that occasion, and Aminato finished a length behind the second horse, Lady Eli Mo, who was no longer a winner but won a very, very weak maiden when getting the job done. The bottom line is, I think Hong Kong doesn't have to be too smart to win, and if there is a follow through and support, I think that she will take it out. In the bipod, to use your analogy from race 1, I'd wait a while until I played the bipod. But if there is a follow-through on number 8, Hong Kong, she looks the part in the parade ring and on the way down to the start. I'd be inclined to make her a banker. If there is a little bit of a drift, then I'd throw in number 7, Aminato.
Okay, that's the feedback from Alistair for race number 2 and his thoughts for leg 1 of the bipod. The place accumulator begins in race number 3. It's a merit-rated 90 handicap over 1,800 meters. Now, the field is a field of 8 that will go to post in leg 1 of that PA, and this is how they're betting. Number 1, King's Express. Fabian Habib having a good run, 6-1. Number 2, at 4-1. Stuart Pettigrew's runner, who won a good race last time out with Gavin Arena, now claiming 2.5 will be Trent Mayhew, just taking off that penalty from an 85 to a 90. Number 3 at 4-1. Number 4 at 7-2. 6 is at 7-2. There is a form update for Alec Laird's runner. We'll see what this goes. 31st of October ran 3rd, 5 lengths behind Champion Warrior. And 8 will race with the blinkers on. It's a small field. Can we reduce the cost of the place accumulator in leg 1?
I think we're going to have to, Dees, because of the competitive nature of the races to come. So I'm going to set up my stall here with 2 runners in the place accumulator. Not saying that they're the only 2 that can win. I want to start with number 3, Strewn Sky, who's got blinkers on for the first time. I think that could be the key. I'm simply of the belief that he did not stay last time when he was eased out of the race and ran no sort of race behind Poets Warrior, who's obviously a live runner in the Java Stakes. Later on in the card, with Ferry on board, I'm led to believe that number 3, Strewn Sky, will run a much better race. If you have a look at the last run, you can see that that was the exception rather than the norm. If you go back to the 10th of August, it didn't meet Mount Darwin. Mount Darwin beat him by a length and a half. They meet on exactly the same weight terms, but I'd like to believe that the blinkers are going to make some sort of difference, just help him take a little bit more interest. And with Ferry on board, I think that we might be set for number 3, Strewn Sky, to run close to his career best here. So I'm going to tip him on top. You got to make a good case for number 2, Mount Darwin. Trent Mayhew takes the ride for Stuart Pettigrew. He meets on identical terms by virtue of the fact that of Trent's 2.5 kilo claim. However, he comes off an 84-day layoff. That's not a long layoff by any stretch of the imagination, but might have just taken a little bit of mileage off the clock in the interim. So I'd venture to say that he's not likely to be 100% going into this race, number 2, Mount Darwin, but there's no doubt he's got something about him. His running style, he does take off late, and in a small field, he might not get the pace that he wishes to work with. So from that point of view, I think Strewn Sky will finish in front of number 2, Mount Darwin. The main danger here, our mate, number 6, Total Surrender, very consistent, son of Flower Alley. He punches above his weight. Penultimate start to Royal Edition. In my opinion, Royal Edition simply got away with one. Total Surrender comes in here 2 kilos better off for a nearly 3-length beating. I think Total Surrender will turn that form around, but heaps of winning chances here. 3 and 6 will be my place accumulator numbers. In the bipot, I would put in number 5, Royal Edition, as backup.
Okay, numbers 3 and 6, hoping to survive with that as a suggestion in leg 1 of that place accumulator. The big one, the Pick 6, is race number 4. And this is going to have a lot of interest. I know that we're racing alongside Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, so punters will be split, especially those that will be playing both Pick 6s. But the estimated pool with the R1 million sweetener is 5 million, and we begin in the Allied Steel Road Golden Loom Handicap, a listed race over 1,000 meters. Let's go. Number 1 at 5-1. Horse number 3 ran 4th, 3 lengths behind William Robertson. That's the form update. Then we go on to Lunar Camp. Stuart Ferry is in town. Number 4 at 8-1. 5 is at 4-1. 6 at 7-1. Horse number 9, Taxi to the Moon, at 4-1. And then 11, Sox Soldier, at 5-1. Okay, Alistair, you are the man in form, and we want you to follow up from Thursday. An excellent Pick 6. Good structure, worked out perfectly, and I think that was a nice sizable return on the investment. So we're going to be following this Pick 6. That is your suggested bet, rightfully so, with this R1 million sweetener. What are we doing in leg 1?
For me, the hardest leg of the Pick 6Ds, and the scratching on number 1, Cliffhanger, I'd ordinarily change my perm, but I need the scratching to run for me, number 1, Cliffhanger, because as you were reading out the betting, there's any amount of horses who can start favourite. The chance of doubling up is not something that I'm willing to sidestep. So number 1, Cliffhanger, for me, is the most key horse in the Pick 6, which is my suggested bet, because obviously on a day like this, on a show like this, you want punters to be able to play for the biggest possible purse. So pick 6, my suggested bet. Number 1, Cliffhanger, is my absolute number 1 inclusion here, and he's scratched. So how's that? I need the scratching to run for me. I need the favourite, whoever it might be, to help out on this perm, because I'm not even convinced I'll have the tote favourite in my play come race time. So these are the horses I've gotten with number 1, Cliffhanger. Number 2, Sheldon. I know that Johan Janssen van Vuren absolutely loves this horse. He's such a trial. He gives of his best. Gavin Lorena takes a ride. 3 months ago, I would have said, right, that's a stable pick. Now I'm not too sure, but I think Gavin's been given a little bit of. I think they're kind of working themselves through it all. So number 2, Sheldon goes, and just because of his consistency, he's running in the handicap for the first time in a long time. I think that could be shrewdly placed on the back of a racing drop and probably just needing a couple of runs back. He's been sparingly raced this year. I think number 2, Sheldon, set for a good run. I mean, I've left out the stable companion number 3, Red Bomber. Not impossible he goes well, especially on the back of the form update where he carried a light weight. I've got number 6, Dreamland, in with Furry on board. Everything went wrong last time for Dreamland. Does he win the race? Absolutely not, but he didn't have the rub of the green. He was dropped in at Hollywoodbets Greyville on Gold Cup Day. He simply ran into traffic. Ultimately, he didn't fire. I think overall, he might end up one of the better sprinters in this race. I think he could be set for a big season, number 6, Dreamland, and I think it's crucial that Faris sticking with him, because that, to me, is a sense of a sprinter that Richard wants to stick with on the half out this season. Number 9, Taxi to the Moon, K. De Brewer on for Tony Peter. Excellent last win over Kimrick. Looked the parts on that win, came past doing handstands. It might have been a small field. Kimrick may have been his own worst enemy subsequently, but I think number 9, Taxi to the Moon's got something to come. He is very much alive here. And then number 11, Chocolate Soldier D's. I've got him in just because he's so quick. He might be able to run them off his feet. A quick, fresh horse is a dangerous horse with a light weight. His win on Hollywoodbets Durbanville was out the top draw when beating Black Egret. It's a big step up the ladder for him. The Yumzum Kulu form line from Hollywoodbets Greyville on Gold Cup Day is seriously powerful behind Cat's Pajamas. All those reasons make number 11, Chocolate Soldier, an inclusion. But for all those playing at pick 6, let the scratching run for you.
Okay, Alistair's brought up an important point about number 1, Cliffhanger, being a scratching, obviously, at the time of recording, whilst recording the show, where it's come through. But I've also just had a quick look while Alistair was analysing race number 4. Red Bomber is out as well. And in the third race, you can take out number 7, Parisian Walkway. This is all happening like a live TV, but I know it's a recorded show, but we're just keeping an eye on the scratching. So in race number 4, numbers 1 and 3 are out. And Alistair's given you 4 horses there. If you want to include the 4, 2, 6, 9, and 11, just reading at his numbers. But he said we're going to keep the 1 in. And it's a difficult race where they're betting 4 to 1 the field. Which horse is going to go off as favourite? That could be key to the outcome of how the first leg of the pick 6 works out. So 1, 2, 6, 9, and 11 going to be Alistair's numbers there in race number 4. But he's going to give us his perm at the end of the show, as we always do in the suggested bet segment. Her Serene Highness Princess Charlene Starling Stakes in Group 3 is race number 5. It's jackpot 1. It's over 1,400 meters. And there's another scratching. Number 1, Little Ballerina is out. Number 2, Hollywoodbets 18 to 10 into 16 to 10. Horse number 3 at 8 to 1. 4 at 9 to 2. 5 is at 7 to 1. Number 8 is awaiting a jockey. And that could be a very interesting riding arrangement, because that could be somebody's good pickup ride on the day. Number 10 is at 8 to 1, and then it is double figures the balance. Fatal Flaw, we know how good she was, Alistair, as a 2-year-old, and compliments to the Crawford team, especially James, who takes care of the horses when they come to Gauteng and travels them to KZN. He's just done an outstanding job the way he has I'm not going to say mastered the process, but, just changed the goalposts on how things can be done with success.
Yeah, he's changed a lot of theories from the half out that you can't raid more than twice down to KZN. They did it twice, 3 times with Winchester Mansion and with Oriental Charm. Credit to James, credit to Brett as well, because Brett is still very, very much the driving force behind it all. But yeah, they've they've stumbled onto a winning formula, and it's very, very refreshing as well to have that crutch of training from altitude. So credit to Team Crawford. Let's start with number 2, Fatal Flaw. She is my top selection in this race, but I do have a theory about this race. There are 3 horses in my play. 2, Fatal Flaw, undoubtedly the horse to beat. Best weighted horse, brushed off the cobwebs last time against male opposition when finishing a quarter of a length behind Slinky Mapimpi. That last run's going to do her a world of good. If you believe that Quid Pro Quo was the best 2-year-old filly from last season, and there's absolutely no reason to doubt that, then Fatal Flaw, probably the second best 2-year-old filly from last season, having run second to her twice during KZN's champion season. If that's your belief, which you've got to be firm into the camp that it is, then number 2, Fatal Flaw, should take all the beating. However, these, my 2 pieces of backup, I have good reason for having them in. 4, World of Alice has run to Fatal Flaw before. She comes in here 1 kilo worse off, 3 kilos worse off when Fatal Flaw beat her. However, Sean Terry's put blinkers on to number 4, World of Alice. It's always been my opinion that her Achilles heels, the fact that she takes no interest is probably the wrong way of describing it, but she drops it big time on you in the early stages, suggesting she's probably a filly who needs a little bit further. If she travels the right way with blinkers on for the first time, she could have any amounts of improvement to come, and she might develop as a result as a 3-year-old filly to watch this season. The draw's obviously no good, so from that point of view, you're kind of hoping that she comes out, drops into the back of the field, but just travels. That's all she's got to do. She's just got to travel better, and Craig Zaki doesn't need to be niggling away. That will be the battle one. That will make her a big runner, number 4, World of Alice. But overall, my opinion here, Dees, and I've taken a bold stance, number 10, Poblano, I think is a well above average filly in the making. There's been a little bit of money around a number 10, Poblano, which does not surprise me. Muzi Yeni takes her out for Robbie Sage. She won her debut beating Cosmic Queen. That's all good and well. But I was at Turffontein when she ran last time, over 1,000 meters, few more strides. She wins the race. She's got all the attributes to become a very nice filly. She will be sufficiently tested here. We don't know how nice she might end up being. But I think number 10, Poblano's got something and got quite a lot to come. I make her very, very dangerous because I don't know how good she is. She might end up being better than this field. So she's a kick for touch, number 10, Poblano. I make her a very, very dangerous filly.
Okay, that is it. Race number 5, and some interesting comments from Alistair Cohen. And we'll see how the 2-year-old form plays out as 3-year-olds as the season moves along. And this looks to be like a race that will tell us a bit more about the form lines of Quid Pro Quo. Race number 6, Betway Graham Beck Stakes. It's a Group 3 over 1,400 meters. Well, the best weighted column in the previous race was a bit tight. Well, this race, it's also tight, but there's one horse that has separated itself from the field when it comes to the rating, and we'll get to the horse just now. Number 1 at 4-1, number 2 at 2-1, horse number 3 at 28-10. Form update for number 4, Wahid, Mike de Cock's runner, was well beaten, 11 lengths, running 5th on the 26th of October. And then we go on to number 7 at 6-1 and 9, Wolf Mountain at 7-1. Well, the horse that I was referring to is clear to you, Alistair. It is number 2, the Specialist, who does top the best weighted column. And I'd like to think in a big way when I'll have a look at the way the handicapper has assessed these horses.
Dees, I think that this is a pretty straightforward race. I think Sean Terry will win it. That's the bottom line. Number 2, the Specialist, obviously the most decorated horse in this race, having been second in a Grade 1 at Hollywoodbets Greyville. There's a school of thought that he was unlucky as well when VJ's Angel ran past him. The only query I have, and you could probably use that query for the backup that I have for number 2, the Specialist in the form of the Stable Companion, is that overall the form has probably not worked out as pleasingly as you would have liked. The direct winner was Mount Pinatubo, who was beaten 10.5 lengths on that occasion. Obviously, VJ's Angel won a week ago, but for me, that was just taking candy from a baby, VJ's Angel, in that race. But with that said, the Specialist sets the standard on that Grade 1 run at Hollywoodbets Greyville on the Premier's Champion Stakes. Went very close to winning. Obviously a very smart horse. The last run would have been one to bring him along for this race. And I think that fitness and over 1,400 meters, I just lean towards him. But I think pound for pound, number 3, Legend of Arthur, is a better horse. If this was over a mile, and I think when we get to the Dingons at the end of the month, Legend of Arthur will probably be the right one. He was luckless from a deep draw in the Premier's Champion Stakes. The race was wasn't run to suit. He ran past a lot of horses over the closing stages. Richard Ferry's back on board. This might be a sighter for the Dingons, but with that said, I think that he's got the class on his side. And they're the only two horses that I want to know about. So what I'm saying is, on the 2nd of November 2024, over 1,400 meters, I will lean towards number 2, the Specialist, but going forward, I will be on the side of number 3, Legend of Arthur. I don't see Sean Terry not winning this race. That's the bottom line.
Well, Sean Terry, strong Alistair Cohen to possibly win the 2024 renewal of the Graham Beck Stakes. Race number 7, Jackpot 2 will begin here, guys, with 10 races carded. Jackpot 1 in race number 5. This will be the start of Jackpot 2 at 15:35. It is the Allied Steel Rod on a mission charity mile. It's a Group 2 over 1,600 meters, and it's attracted a good field, a quality field. And of course, as we always say, charity is a massive winner along with the grooms, because there's a great initiative for the grooms that I've been told. Race 7, number 1, Dave the King, 33-10 into 3-1, carrying 63 kgs. Horse number 3, Barbaresco, a horse that was one of the stars as a 3-year-old. That's been backed 10-1 into 13-2. Number 5, Frances Ettel. Well, she's a classy filly. We know that. 5-1. 8-6 is a scratching. Then we go on to horse number 13, Back in Business, who's won 3 on the bounce. Joe Soma, unassuming, but he can win these feature races, as he's shown season after season when a good horse finds him. 7-1 into 6-1. Number 14, Schumacher. I just have to give you the betting here, Alistair, not in single figures, but from 33-1, there has been a follow-through into 20-1 on Hollywood Bets. Number 17, Zanovi, now will be partnered by Sereno Mudley. What you make of the field, Alistair?
First thing is first, Dees. Credit to Arun Chadha and Warren Rippon for putting their money where their mouth is with Allied Steel Road and putting that name behind the On a Mission Charity Mile. Credit to them. They're big supporters of the game, and to come into this whole charity aspect is admirable from their side. Love chatting to both of them. They're fantastic people. And obviously they've got a couple of interests here in the form of Shoemaker and Zanovi, who get to run, although I think they got their work cut out, both of them. The next point that I want to make is that if you go through the Roll of Honor of this race, there have been a few renewals of the Charity Mile which probably don't justify Grade 2 status. However, this year and last year were probably as close to a Grade 1 as you can get. Very, very good to have the Horse of the Year in the form of Dave the King. We've got a Hollywoodbets Durbanville winner. We've got a few Grade 1 winners. I mean, even though he's lost his way, the luck's a safe passage. Silver Sanctuary, also a Grade 1 winner in her own right. This is a very, very good renewal of the Charity Mile. Now, to give you my analysis of the race, even though it's wide open and there have been whispers about a few horses that I don't have in my pick 6, which I will bring to your attention in a moment, I've got a sore neck from looking towards the top of the boards here. I've gone with 4 horses, and they are the top 4 in the market. Number 1, Dave the King. 3, Barbaresco. 5, Frances Ethel. And number 13, Back in Business. Back in Business is my top choice. I would have banked him if he had a draw. I think that he's miles ahead of the handicapper. When winning the Betway Joburg Spring Challenge, he ran to a rating much higher than 114, but due to the conditions and the restrictions of the race, he couldn't get the full penalty. If he gets luck in running from a deep draw, I think he will win. If he doesn't get luck in running from a deep draw, then that opens it up to the other horses that I have in. So number 13, Back in Business, top choice, but disclaimers apply. Number 1, Dave the King. I don't care if he's got 63 kilos. He's the best horse in the country, having been proven in the Equus Awards, having won 2 Weight for Age Grade 1s. If anyone's going to turn around and say he can't win with the weight, that's absolute rubbish, because he is the best horse in the country who's earned that weight. He is a big chance, and I think even though he's won a Grade 1 over 1,800 meters, I think he's most at home over a mile, especially at Turffontein. Big chance, even though I know his main target is going to be the Lomaral King's Plate. Then number 3, Barbaresco. Again, I think that this is a sweet spot distance-wise. He's 2 from 2 over a mile. He's not got the best of draws, but I think Johan Janssen van Vuren set him up for this race. He won this race last year with Porto Manzano. The fact that this is his peak run, 3rd run after a break, and come through the right sort of channels getting into a mile over a Grade 2 mile, I think number 3, Barbaresco, is the most cherry-ripe horse in the race. Yes, he's got a a bit to do to turn it around with back in business in that run in the Betway Joburg Spring Challenge, but he was doing his best work late, going an extra 150 metres and on the stand side track. That will all set him up. And then number 5, Frances Ethel. I totally misread her last season. Brilliant filly, this daughter of Rafif. Capello Matsanyani takes her out for Brett Crawford. I think she's probably more of a winning chance in the Betway Summer Cup than in the Allard Steel Road on a Mission Mile, but the fact is she wins races that she probably shouldn't, and with that attribute on her side, she is very dangerous, especially from the draw. So those are the 4 horses I've got in the play. These are the whispers going around town. 9 Silver Sanctuary, even though too short, big runner, last run, excellent, coming back from a layoff. She's also probably setting up for the Betway Summer Cup, but there's talk about her. I've heard a whisper about number 8, Quasi for sure. Peter Muscat won this, well, Brett Crawford won this race a few years ago with a horse much worse than Quasi for sure. That was when Muscat obviously worked for Crawford. That was, geez, I can't even remember the name. Was it Rocky? No, it wasn't Rocky Reef, but ran in the same silks. But a horse that you won't believe is in the Charity Mile, Roll of Honor. But the point is, Muscat knows how to win this race. My Summer Cup horse, I'm putting it out there, is number 10, Hotter Ruby. If he runs on for a minor place, I'll be licking my lips with Hotter Ruby. And the other 2 horses that have a lot of whispers attached to them are 15 Safe Passage and 16 Celtic Rumours. I've left them up. I don't think Safe Passage is quite the same horse that he was a couple of years ago. And Celtic Rumours, I think, will be challenged despite a light weight. I think that she'll be challenged. I think the boys will have her measure from Spring Challenge Day. So those are just a few horses that are being spoken about. I've settled though on 1, 3, 5 and 13.
1, 3, 5 and 13 for Alistair Cohen in his suggestions here as the top 4. I must agree with him with number 10, Hotter Ruby, and number 7, Give Me Another Chance, going to be the play as well. 7 and 10, those could be 2 big roving bankers in a quartet that I'll tell you will pay big numbers here. This is a proper quartet to catch in race number 7. Race number 8, Allied Steel Rod, Yellowwood Handicap, Group 3 over 1,800 meters. And this is how it looks. Number 2, Indian Ocean at 8-1. Horse number 5, United Council at 4-1. Hollywoodbets, number 6, 10-1 into 8-1. Then we got number 8 at 7-1. Number 10 at 5-2. That's the favorite, Alec Laird's runner, daughter of Silvano. And number 12, Forgiveness, who I must say I was impressed with the way she went back to Gauteng last time out and won a good race. She is at 5-1, number 12, Forgiveness. The favorites in the race, Alistair, is horse number 10, 5-2. Are you in agreement that the right horse is at the top of the boards?
No, I'm not, Dees. But she is the enigma in the race, number 10, Sukhumvit, with Rachel Venica on board for the first time. She is not an easy ride. She can do anything. But Rachel tends to deliver on these difficult fillies. I haven't got her in my pick 6, I must confess, but she is the horse that I'm most worried about not having in. So if the budget allows, I'd put in number 10, Sukhumvit, not because she's at the top of the boards, because I genuinely believe if Rachel gets on with her, and not many do, if Rachel gets on with her, she is a danger. My numbers here are 5, 9 and 12 Ds. Simply at the weights, I think all these runners have massive chances. Let's start with number 5, United Council. Ran a length behind Forgiveness last time out. If the weights are to be believed, it's a joke how well United Council has come in here. She is, call it 6 kilograms better off for being a length behind Forgiveness. She's a huge chance, number 5, United Council. She is my top choice. Then I've got number 9, Little Mary Sunshine, who on a line through Olivia's Way has got Olivia's Way absolutely stone cold from their run on the 26th of September. Olivia's Way is down 1 kilogram. Little Mary Sunshine's down 10. Do the mathematics. 9 kilos for a length and a quarter. That puts number 9, Little Mary Sunshine, bang into the picture for me. The only worry is that she's just one of those fillies or one of those mares now who has forgotten how to win. But I think she's got a good chance of going close here. And then number 12, Forgiveness, off a lightweight. We're not fooled. We all know that she's a lot better than an 87. We all know that Mike de Kock has had this race and quite a few others in mind. She's on the up. She's a daughter of Silvano, so she grinds out victories when she's got her back to the wall. Number 12, Forgiveness, is a big play. Even though the weights don't necessarily suit her, she'll be far better on the Turffontein stand-side track as well. I've got all the time in the world for her. So I've held this to 3 runners, 5, 9 and 12. If I was looking for a backup, it would be number 10, Sukhumvit.
Sukhumvit going to be the backup if you are looking for one, although not part of the play in this pick six for Alistair. Does have respect for the filly, and it all depends on how she races with Rachel Vinegar, who will partner her for the first time. We're on to the last leg. We're running in the pick six. You're standing. How it's going to end off in race number 9? Well, it's the Java Stakes, the Allied Steroid Java Stakes, a listed race over 2,400 meters. Number 1, Zeus, 5-1. Then we got the number 2, Aragosta. I just want to give you equipment changes, blinkers and tongue tie off. Number 4 at 9-2. And number 10, Marauding Horde, who won the other day on the 26th of October, is at 33-10. 11, Poets Warrior at 5-1. 12, Battleground. Yeah, that was a good win last time out. 6-1. And number 12, Explosive Bond at 8-1. So we're running in the pick six. How confident can you be with the numbers you're going to suggest?
Quite confident, because I've gone wide here, Dees. I think you have to, and I've got to say one thing for the stayers in South Africa at the moment, because we obviously come here without Future Pearl, who is and Master Redoute as well, probably the two best stayers in the country. There are a lot of informed horses here that are on the up, that stay well, and I think we could be in for the first time in a while, because generally the stayers ranks are thin. For the first time in a while, we've got a very nice cross-section countrywide of stayers with ability. So this is what I've done. Number 1, Zeus, despite the heavyweight, and he's going to be made to feel that heavyweight, he is a very, very good horse. He came back to life last time, running a quarter of a length behind Razor Hallelujah, giving him a ton of weight. He's waited to finish in front of Razor Hallelujah. From all those points of view, even though I think that he is... Well, I mean, he's won 5 times over this trip, but I still think that over 2 miles he's probably even better. But number 1, Zeus, or what I saw last time, massive chance. But there is a horse who's got him stone cold at the weights, which we'll get to in a moment. Number 4, Razor Hallelujah. He continues to be in an unbelievably good space. He ran a short head second in this race 2 years ago, which was a bitter pill to swallow at the time. If he ran into the first 3, he takes his career. First 2, he takes his career earnings past R1 million. Another one will take him to double figures. That was always the target with him. He is a 7-year-old, but he's rising 3. He is such a joy for Candice and for the rest of the team. He gives his heart and soul. Muzi, and he was very, very quick on the dial to take the ride on number 4, Razor Hallelujah, and he too will be better on the stand side track. Even though he's not well weighted, can't leave him out. Number 5, none other, is the best weighted horse in the race. She is a former Oaks winner as well, having won the Track and Ball Oaks, or the Tab Oaks, at Hollywoodbets Scottsville. Richard Ferry takes a ride. Purely on the mathematics, she's a big chance. She would have needed that last run over the wrong trip where she ran with credit. 3rd behind Home of the Brave in a race that was run at snail's pace. She went off to the front. Somebody had to go, and I think that run will bring her along the right way. And then the lighter weights. Number 10, Marauding Horde, as you mentioned, runs under a penalty for a very impressive win just a week ago. Carries 54 kilos due to the rating going up to 101. First run as a gelding. He looks like a racehorse now. Number 10, Marauding Horde, with that confidence up, with the cobwebs being dusted off, he's not a horse to ignore. Number 11, Poets Warrior, the way that he gallops them into the ground has been a joy to watch. Good friends with Justice van Wyk, part owner. He didn't expect to get him back onto the racetrack, let alone winning. He obviously needed his penultimate start, which set him up for a commanding victory last time. This is harder, but his running style just makes him a huge danger, number 11, Poets Warrior. You're right, Lucky Hudalak has done a brilliant job with number 12, Battleground. Went to Aberga, won the PE Gold Cup. Lucky was more than happy to oblige and take him down to Aberga at the end of the season to give Gaynor Rupert one of her favourite trophies. So number 12, Battleground, stays all day. I think that, funny enough, this might be a little bit on the short side for number 12, Battleground, but with a lightweight, a big player. And overall, my top choice, number 14, Explosive Bond, with 50 kilos on the back here, D's. Every conceivable piece of form. She's got a huge run. 25th of May, Lonsdale Stirrup Cup, Hollywoodbets Greyville, ran 6 lengths behind Down to Business. Has Razor Hallelujah, Nebraska, Marauding Horde, and Aragosta absolutely cold at the weights. On a DSTV Gold Vase on Hollywoodbets Durbanville, finished just behind Nebraska, none other, and in front of Razor Hallelujah. Comes in here extremely well weighted, and perhaps more crucially, on the 5th of October, Explosive Bond, a length and a half behind Razor Hallelujah. and is 4 kilos better off with Razor Hallelujah and 2 kilos better off for Zeus, and there was only a length and a half between them. Explosive Bond with that lightweight is a huge chance, my top choice.
Just quickly, I know you would have had a look at this horse, Armagam, but could it be third run back? We could see him back to his best, because I like the word turnarounds with most of these runners here, Alistair, but he just doesn't give you all the confidence on what I see in his 2 runs back.
I think he was a better horse 2 years ago, Dees, and last time I was strong in him as a feed.
Yeah, that's...
I would have preferred it the other way, that he was running. I would have preferred it the other way if he was running on not stopping. So he's just one of those horses that I'm not a friend of his at the moment. If he bounced back, good luck to them all. I'll be out the pick 6, but clearly you won't be letting him run loose.
Yep, 1 for trifectas, quartets, and that kind of bagged at a big price of 25-1. And then we close things off. It's a long day, as it is with the 2 centers, but it's an enjoyable day because we're going to be treated to some high-class action. Race number 10 is over 1,800 meters, and let's see what we're going to do in the 10th race. Number 1 at 7-1, 2 at 7-2, 3 at 9-2, number 4 at 5-1, 5 is a 4-1 shot. Then we got number 8 at 9-1, and 9 is at 11-2. Well, we all know what happened during the course of the week. It was Diwali, and we got a rocket here. It's called Diwali Rocket. I know I did like this horse to possibly, run a good race. I think it was the penultimate start, Alistair. Was it that the race?
Sure. It was 20th of July when he won, wasn't it?
No, I'm saying you just suggested include in all bets Diwali coming up. I think that was the 21st of September, where he just put in an indifferent run with Pierre that day.
Dees, I don't know what's happened to this horse, Diwali Rocket, because funny enough, but for his last 2 runs, I'd make him my top choice here, because he's run 4 3/4 lengths to Bacchus. I don't think Bacchus would eat this field alive, but goodness knows what's happened in his last 2 starts. He's an inclusion. Overall, I'm pleased that this is not part of the pick 6Ds, because you can make a case for all of these. But weirdly, I think maybe it's written in the stars. I think the value lies with 2 horses here. My top choice would be Caliburn, number 9 on the card, by virtue of the 4-kilo claim. I think that brings him alive on a run to Guy Alexander on the 10th of October. Caliburn comes in here very, very well weighted to turn the form around with American Rebel and Red Legend. But Diwali Rocket, if he just forgets what he's got up to at his last 2 starts, and I think last time he probably ran in a field a little bit too strong for him, and even though Argo Alley won hard up on the inside, he was the only horse to do anything. He's interesting for me, number 7, Diwali Rocket. I'll put him into trifectas and quartets. I think he's the complete wrong price. The good Diwali Rocket will win this race. The bad Diwali Rocket will be tailed off.
Race number 10, and that's how Alistair closes it off. I think we just lost Alistair there for a second. If he's back, he will tell us. But that's how he views race number 10, and it's over 1,800 meters. If we got Alistair on the line, we're going to go to his suggested bet. It's up on screen, Alistair. Are you back with us? Okay, trying to get a hold of Alistair Cohen as we bring up his suggested bets, and let's have a look at it. I'm just going to run through it. It is the pick 6 that he's gone with, and the pick 6 is going to look like this: 1, 2, 6, 9, and 11, bar 2, 4, and 10, bar 2 and 3, bar 1, 3, 5, and 13, bar 5, 9, and 12, bar 1, 4, 5, 10, 11, 12, and 13. And that's going to be his pick 6. He is in good form when it comes to this bet. He caught it on Thursday, and it yielded a very profitable return. Well, this is a huge one because it's R1 million carried over, and that estimated pool is 5 million rand. Apologies for losing Alistair towards the end of the show. And on behalf of Alistair Cohen, the Gallop TV team, and myself, Dees Dine, and to you, the valued racing fan, as I mentioned to Graham on the other show for Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, there is plenty of action, lots to play for. Pick your spots, aim, and hopefully hit the bullseye. You have a blast, find all the winners, and until we meet again, you take care. Salani Gashle.